السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أمسينا وأمسى الملك لله والحمد لله، لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. ربي أسألك خير ما في هذه الليلة وخير ما بعدها. ربي أعوذ بك من شر ما في هذه الليلة ومن شر ما بعدها. ربي أعوذ بك من الكسل والكبر. ربي أعوذ بك من عذاب في النار ومن عذاب في القبر. آمين. ذهب الظمأ وابتلت العروق وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله. آمين. اللهم اغفر لنا ما قدمنا وما أخرنا وما أسررنا وما أعلنا وما أنت أعلم به منا. أنت المقدم وأنت المؤخر، لا إله إلا أنت. اللهم تقبل منا صيامنا وقيامنا. اللهم وفقنا لصيام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا ولقيامه إيمانا واحتسابا. اللهم إنا ظلمنا أنفسنا فاغفر لنا وتب علينا وارحمنا وطهر قلوبنا وزين قلوبنا لك وليوم العرض عليك، وأقمنا بصدق العبودية بين يديك. اللهم اجعلنا نعبدك كأننا نراك. اللهم اجعلنا نعبدك كأننا نراك. اللهم اجعلنا نعبدك كأننا نراك. وأسعدنا بك في الدنيا والآخرة. وأسعدنا بك في الدنيا والآخرة. وأهلينا وذرياتنا وإخواننا وأخواتنا في الله والمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم احفظ ذرياتنا. اللهم احفظ ذرياتنا بما تحفظ به عبادك الصالحين يا رب العالمين. اللهم نجنا وإياهم من الفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم أحينا وإياهم على الإسلام والإيمان، وتوفنا وإياهم على الإسلام والإيمان والإحسان يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. Ya Allah, please protect ourselves and our children. Protect us and our children. Save us and our children from the afflictions and the tribulations and the challenges of the times. Ya Rabbi, Ya Rahim. And please, Ya Allah, let them and us live a life in Islam, in Iman and in Ihsan. And when you take us and take them to you, let that be in Ihsan. Ya Arham Ar-Rahimin, Ya Rabb Al-Alameen. In that context, we continue, and we were speaking about Salah and Al-Khushu' in Salah, in the context of the characteristics of fulfilling the Khilafah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth. And last night, we were mentioning about how to attain Khushu', and of the last thing we mentioned about attaining Khushu' that is very fundamental and very important. What did we say? The sentence that we should all remember about Khushu' in Salah and how to attain Khushu' in Salah. What is that sentence? No, that's for the first that we said even 2 nights ago. We repeated last night, but last night we said something special about Khushu' in Salah. The sentence. Yes, you strive for it, but what did we say? So that if you didn't store it, that means you didn't benefit from it. And to store something, when you store it, that's when we benefit from it. When we don't store it, it's not available. You all know that. Most of you are scientists and engineers and all of that. You don't store it, it's not available. So if you do not store it, then it's not available. You will not benefit from it. Yes? Externally, internally. So that's what you should remember. That's what we said. We are, the statement is I made, we are in Salah what we are outside Salah. We are in Salah what we are outside Salah. And if I'm interested to be in Khushu' in Salah, I have to strive to be in Khushu' outside of Salah. And to be in Khushu' outside of Salah, I have to use my eyes the right way, and my ears the right way, and my tongue the right way, and my touch the right way, and my hands the right way, and my legs the right way, and my sexual drive the right way, and my thoughts the right way. I have to do that because all of that is, when we use these senses, that will be energy stored inside of us, and we come with that in salah. Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. And when we do that, then salah is a means by which we shall keep away from that which is excessive and that which is promiscuous and evil. So keep that in mind. May Allah bless you and all of us. And we mentioned of the last thing that when we say Allahu Akbar, what's that statement about? Allah is greater than, and it's open to the condition in which I am. And therefore, that Allahu Akbar is an expression of, who said? What? Huh? No? What did we say? It's an expression of? Since Allah is greater and you see and you feel Allah is greater than, that's a statement of, that's a condition of liberty and freedom. Freedom and liberty of our minds and thoughts and feelings and hearts from the presence of energies that are other than that which is positive with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu Akbar. Inside of me, nothing is comparable to Allah Azza wa Jal. Pain, fear, joy, attachments, sources, resources, relatives, enemies, nafs, shaitan, happiness, sadness. Allah is greater. Imagine one free from all of that through Allahu Akbar. That's why we repeat it so that we develop that freedom. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. As we say that. And then we mentioned, as we stand in salah, standing in salah, qiyam. Al-qiyam fi salah is what? Who remembers? Yes, service, khidmah. So, qiyamun fi salah is indicative of my khidmah, my servitude to Allah Azza wa Jal. And here I am, Ya Allah, standing. It means I stand with my mind, with my heart, in my life. All of those inner energies are for serving you. Imagine with your mind, with your feelings, with your emotions, all the time ready to serve Allah Azza wa Jal. So al-qiyam, 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 qa'imun, qa'imun, qa'imun. لماذا؟ قائم لخدمة الله سبحانه وتعالى. قائم لخدمته وعلى خدمته سبحانه وتعالى. To serve Him and to make sure He's served subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I remind myself. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of the teachings, he said, أفضل الصلاة. Who knows? Many things pertaining to qiyam. أفضل الصلاة طول القنوت. Long qunut. And qunut in this sense meaning long standing. In nafila, for example, you recite long standing, long. Allah loves that. That's because we are standing, and it is teaching us to develop that internal standing in servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Long. How many of us do something good for a moment and then we get bored, isn't it? How many of us listen to ilm for a minute, half hour, we get bored? Because we don't get used to that. So Allah Azza wa Jal makes us used by His grace to salah and qunut in salah, standing long in salah, so that we develop inside that desire for continuous khidmah to Allah Azza wa Jal. For continuous khidmah to Allah Azza wa Jal, in prosperity or in adversity, in mundane matters or in religious matters, in all matters. القيام على ولخدمة الله سبحانه وتعالى. أي نعم, sometimes he sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to stand, and he was the perfect قائم لله وبحدود الله سبحانه sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He was the perfect representation, of course, of divine beauty and of servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yet sometimes in his salah, in his nafilah, as many of you by now know, in one rak'ah, in the way he recites, not the way we recite, in the way he recites, Ya Allah, imagine if those days we could record his voice, but لِلَّهِ فِي خَلْقِهِ شُؤُونٌ وَحِكَمٌ. So in one rak'ah he reads, standing, he reads, who knows? Al-Baqarah, Al-Imran, Al-Nisa. And sometimes he did it in this order, Al-Baqarah, Al-Nisa, Al-Imran. In one rak'ah, reading the way he reads, pearls of beauty from his heart and from his tongue, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So to teach us qiyam, and he used to do qiyam, standing so long and so regularly that what happened, as many of you know, that his feet were swollen, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Qiyam, khidmah to Allah Azza wa Jal, to signify that qiyam. And the one who does that from his or her heart in salah is more likely to be in servitude with his or her heart outside of salah. To train me in salah, to be in service for Allah outside salah, patiently, not only patiently, nay, delightfully and pleasurably. Al-Qiyamu fi salah. And then, when we stand in salah, we must face physically Qibla, Al-Bayt al-Haram. Wherever we are, we must physically face Al-Qibla. We must do that. It's part of the arkan of salah. When we are able to, that is. And since physically we face Qibla, and the Qibla is where the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, that's where physically we face. And that's the meaning of tawajjuh. Tawajjuh literally means what? Orientation. Orientation. To direct oneself towards something. But the orientation is both physical and metaphysical and spiritual. My standing and insisting, making sure I stand towards that which is the house of Allah, my heart should be in tawajjuh. My heart should be in tawajjuh, in orientation, in direction, not physical, towards whom? Allah Azza wa Jal. What does that mean? What we are learning about khushu'. That is, when I am in salah, my orientation is Allah. My aim is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My direction is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I focus my inner feelings, my inner thoughts, my inner energies on awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as we said many times, Allah watching my heart. Watching my heart. Meaning, He knows where my heart is. With every heartbeat, with every pulse, with every energy and change thereof, He knows where all that is. So if in my qalb I am somewhere else, He knows. If in my qalb I am in a condition of, let's say, riya or i'jab, ostentation or conceitedness, self-admiration, He knows. And so on. When I am in those conditions, I am not with my qalb oriented towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when I strive to keep away from that in my salah, I strive, and we're talking about striving and we're learning about takhashu', to keep Allah Azza wa Jal in my awareness inside of me. That's my qibla. And no, because physically the salah is invalid if I deliberately turn away from my physical qibla. If in my qalb I deliberately turn away from Allah Azza wa Jal, the worth of my salah is nil. The worth of my salah is nil. And remember that statement I've been repeating many times that is taught in texts. What is it? We said it many times about orienting our hearts toward Allah, and we should not at any moment turn away from that orientation. And if we do, what happens? إِلَىٰ أَيْنَ يَا عَبْدِي إِلَىٰ خَيْرٍ مِّنِّي Allahu Akbar. And if we do that, and if that happens, then the divine call inside of us says, where to, my servant? Somewhere better than me? Allahu Akbar. And then, if we train our minds and hearts and souls like that in salah, outside of salah we remain in that condition. And if in that condition I am, I can never stand. It's going to be painful and abasing for me outside of salah to be aware of other than Allah Azza wa Jal, independently from Allah Azza wa Jal. Are these words clear? And that's a person who is always in khushu', always in a state of khushu', where his or her heart never loses awareness or spiritual sight of Allah Azza wa Jal. So I train myself for that in salah, so that outside of salah I can do that. And I train myself outside of salah by guarding my eyes and ears, tongues and touch and smell and hands and so on. I do all of that so that I save my heart from improper signals, so that in salah I am khushu'. So it's a feedback loop. It's a feedback loop. It's a closed circle. What I do outside positively helps my qalb be in khushu' in salah. My qalb, me striving to be in khushu' in salah, helps me to be outside salah in khushu' with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's pertaining to this tawajjuh towards qibla. And then when I go into ruku' and into sujood, look how, as you know, may Allah bless you, my body is in this vulnerable condition and position. Very vulnerable, that ruku'. And in sujood, very vulnerable. خفضت جناحي لله سبحانه وتعالى. When I do that physically to demonstrate my vulnerability, in other words, I give up everything. I don't look at any strength I have or any resource I have. I have nothing, so I come helpless, weak in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I do that physically. That's why I had to pay attention, my dear brothers and sisters, in my salah. When I am in ruku', it should be done with humility and humbleness. In my sujood, with humility and humbleness. And when I do that physically, the intent is that what is to be in ruku' and sujood? Again, number two levels. Siyam should remind you of that when we spoke about the 3 levels of Siyam. When I am in ruku' or in sujood, physically, that's the first level. It is intended for me that my senses are in ruku' and sujood to Allah Azza wa Jal. My eyes in ruku' and sujood. My ears in ruku' and sujood. My tongue in ruku' and sujood. How are they in ruku' and sujood? How? This is a second level, not a physical level. خاشعين. How is the eye in khushu', in ruku'? Ruku' to Allah, meaning to kneel to Allah, to obey Allah Azza wa Jal, to subdue to Allah Azza wa Jal. That is when I don't use my eyes in ways He doesn't love. Again, same thing. Ruku'. As a matter of fact, there is a dua of the dua in ruku' to say, خشع لك سمعي وبصري. It says, اللهم لك ركعت وبك آمنت ولك أسلمت. خشع لك سمعي وبصري ودمي ولحمي وعظمي وعصبي ومخي وما استقلت به قدمي لله رب العالمين. Subhanallah. As I'm in ruku', some of that dua is a second dimension. I'm saying to Allah, is in ruku' to you, is in khushu' to you my sight, my hearing, my tongue, my mind, my blood, my vessels, my bones, my limbs, my ligaments, and everything my body carries is in khushu' to you. So when I am in ruku', that's what I am expressing. When I am in sujood, even deeper, even lower, a greater sense of ubudiyyah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what I am doing in salah, and I should do it in feeling. In sujood of the dua is سجد لك سوادي وخيالي وآمن بك فؤادي هذه يدي وما جنيت على نفسي سجد لك سوادي وخيالي. See, this is not anymore about physical sujood. This is physical sujood that is expressing a deeper sujood. My imagination, my hair, my heart in sujood to you, and so on. My fu'ad, my deepest recesses of my heart are in iman of you. هذه يدي, here I am between you, that is my hands, meaning helpless. هذه يدي وما جنيت على نفسي, and what I have done wrong against my own self. Here I am. That's sujood. That's sujood. Sujood is not just mechanical. It starts mechanical, but it is intended to be spiritual. It is intended for me to be in that awareness of Allah Azza wa Jal in my sujood, to then transform me outside of salah. This salah transforms us. This salah tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. This is the salah that is transformative and reformative when it is with that meaning. And thus my qalb is in sujood, my qalb is in ruku' to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is so much more when we sit for tashahhud, why and what it means, of the beautiful things it means. I'm going to stop here, but I'm going to say this. In addition to what we said, I hope we remember, I hope we begin to practice. Remember what we said just before beginning iftar, pertaining to salah and khushu' in salah, something practical. What was it? Do not waste water in your wudu. Wasting water in wudu is incompatible with khushu' in salah. They said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when using water, he could perform wudu with a sort of, a small glass of water. And he does his wudu. Try that. With a small glass of water. That's all he uses. It's not that he didn't have water. He was teaching us part of the adab of wudu. And that is part of being in khushu' for salah, to be in khushu' in wudu. In wudu, we should not be in wudu and first of all wasting water, talking loud, No. We have to prepare our qulub for salah by letting water fall, like not Niagara Mohawk or Niagara Falls, but like gently dripping. Wallahi al-Azim, there is a difference inside of you when the faucet is gushing versus when the faucet is gently flowing. It has a different effect on your heart and a different way to prepare you for salah. Wallahi al-Azim. I close with this. Sayyiduna Ali ibn al-Husayn radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma wa alayhima salamullah, Zainul Abidin. You know Sayyiduna Ali ibn Sayyidina al-Husayn ibn Sayyidina Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhu wa anhum ajma'in. It is said when he goes to wudu, he becomes pale to wudu. And they observed that many times. Finally they asked him, what is this? Why when you go perform wudu, you become pale and so focused? He answers in Arabic, he said, أتدرون بين يدي من سأقوم؟ أتدرون بين يدي من سأقوم؟ Why that adab and that concentration and that reverence in wudu? He answered, don't you know in front of whom I am going to stand? May Allah Azza wa Jal help me and help you. May Allah help us, Ya Rabbi, be in ibadah of Allah Azza wa Jal, not only physically, but most importantly with our own hearts and souls and minds and limbs. وصلى اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله الطاهرين وأصحابه الميامين والتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.